Hello everyone, it's me Drew at the Sewing Labs, and today I'm going to help teach you how we're going to sew some children's activity drawstring bags for the St. Luke's Hospital for those kids who are having to get treatments there. They can put their toys, stuffed animals, puzzles, or anything they might want to keep with them in a nice little bag that they can carry around. So you can come pick up some kits here at the Sewing Labs. We have them in kits for you. Or if you have some fabric at home, this is 9 inches by 24 inches, just one rectangle piece. And then if we have tags available for you, we can give you some. We're kind of short on them right now. So if you don't, that's okay, but I'll show you where and how we're going to sew these on. And that's pretty much all you're going to need for this project. So let's get started. What we're going to do is our first step is we're going to create the little channel that the drawstring is going to go through. So we're going to put our fabric right side down, so our wrong side is facing up. And the first thing we're going to do is on each of these short sides, the 9-inch sides, we're going to press the fabric down 1/4 of an inch. So if you have a ruler, you have a seam gauge, or if you know for a fact where on your finger 1/4 inches, or you're just so good that you can eye it, you do what works best for you. And we're just going to press this down 1/4 of an inch at first. So use your hem gauge. I like to think I can eye 1/4 inch between you and me. You know, it's iffy if I can. But we're going to press it 1/4 inch just down like this. And then I'm going to do it next on the other. Be careful, we don't want you to burn your fingers. We want to make the bags for the patients at St. Luke's. We don't want to become the patients. 2.5. And now what we're going to do is we're going to press this again, folding it over itself at 1/2 inch. A little trick, and you can measure this yourself, but I know from the tip of my finger to my first knuckle is 1 inch. So if I go halfway on my finger, that's my 1/2 inch. So you can measure your fingers and see how big they are. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this side right at 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we've done our pressing, and that's what's gonna create our channels for the drawstring. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold this right in half. You can unfold what you just did, don't worry, it'll fold back. And then what we're gonna do, this is gonna help us for if you have a tag, this is a great time that you do this step. If you don't have any Sewing Labs tags, you can skip this step. And we're just going to press this flat here on the edge. So I'm just holding it even on here, and I press it here. That way, when I open this up, I know where the bottom of the bag is because it's gonna get sewn like this. And then I know where I can place my tag. Alrighty, so for now, if you have a Sewing Labs tag, you can watch this step, and if not, you can fast forward. Or watch, and if you have your own tag, you can put it on too. But what we're gonna do is we're going to place this, I'm looking at it upside down. We're gonna put this on the right side, the bottom right side of this bag. So here's our little press line from where we pressed it, and we want it to be 1.5 inches away from the corner. So I'm going to get my hem gauge here at 1.5 inches. And so I'm going to come over 1.5 inches, and I'm going to come up 1.5 inches here. Just like that. So it's right here. And now you can, if you need to pin it in place, go for it. If you feel comfortable pinching it, you can go do that. And now I'm simply just going to stitch it all along the edging. So I'm going to start, I'm probably sewing at like 1/8 inch at this point. And I'm going to start sewing. If you want to back stitch, you can. And then we're going to pivot and turn with our needle down. And we're just going to do that all around the edge. We're going to come here, and this is the part where I've sewn many of tags in my day. So if you want, if you're like, oh no, my stitch isn't gonna come quite in the right spot, because you wanna get right in that first pinhole, you can just raise your presser foot with the needle up, adjust it where you want, and then put it down. So mine was gonna go a little forward, so I'm going to get right where I wanted, and then I'll pivot one last time. And you might be saying, so I've already sewn there. We're just gonna stitch like 3 stitches, do a quick back stitch, and that way everything kind of the start and end locks itself all together. And that way it looks cleaner. And then you can cut it out from the sewing machine. And you have sewn the tag onto your bag. So our next step is we're kind of gonna where we already have our folded crease, we're going to fold it back to where it is. And then we're simply just going to have the folded side right here, so your wrong side's facing up. It seems like, wait, I shouldn't be doing that. For this, if you feel really comfortable, go ahead, do it with your right side facing up, but it's really beginner friendly if you do it like this way, because then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stitch at like an 1/8 inch here, just along this channel, and that's what's going to finish the top, but also allow the drawstring to go through. And back stitch, and then you can trim it off, and you can see I have the stitch, it's straight, and now I have a little channel that I can slip a drawstring through, and then I'm just going to do the same exact thing on this side.
But I don't think in this case, this is the case.
And what you're looking for is that you're catching this 1/4 inch fold, so that way it doesn't come loose. We'll back stitch. We'll cut it off. Bam, we have our second one done. And now what we're gonna do, our last step, see, it's so quick and easy, is we're going to fold this right sides together, and then at a 1/4 inch, so we're gonna line our tops up, and then we're just gonna sew it a 1/4 inch all the way down the sides, and we're not gonna start all the way at the top because we need to leave these open to get the drawstrings through. So you can just start like down here. I would say about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch below where you folded. Or if you want to, if it's easier for you, think like an inch from the top. And then we're just gonna sew right at a 1/4 inch. Then we're gonna back stitch, and then we're just gonna sew all the way straight down. And then I'm going to do the other side just like how I did this side. So I'm going to start an inch from the top, or a 1/4 to 1/2 inch below where you made your folds. You're going to start, you're going to back stitch, and then you're just going to stitch at a 1/4 inch all the way down. And then you can cut it out of your machine. You can trim your threads, which I'll get to later. And then if you can just turn your bag right side out. If you want to give it another press, you can. You don't have to. And then if you turn it right side out, poke your corners out, you have made a little drawstring bag with a tag on if you have it. And then you don't have to worry about threading the drawstrings. The volunteers at St. Luke's will do it. So we just need to make a bunch of these nice activity bags for the children. Thank you for following along, and I can't wait to see all the different bags that you guys make.